Hi, I'm Lauren Lockman. In this short video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about lower GI tract diseases, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis. These are not fun conditions for most of us to think or talk about, and even less fun to experience. And trust me, because I suffered from irritable bowel syndrome myself for 3 years, and it was a very distressing thing because every time I ate anything, I was in severe distress. Doctors told me I just needed to be more careful about what I ate, but it didn't seem to matter what it was. I fluctuated between constipation and diarrhea, and I was always bloated and gassy and felt terrible. And since then, now the truth is, this is one of the best things that ever happened to me, because along with a variety of other conditions, it prompted me to search for how to create real health. And in the 24 years since I discovered how to create real health, I haven't been sick a single day, and I never experienced lower GI tract problems. Now, if you've been diagnosed with any of these conditions or know someone who has, you may be aware that doctors will tell you most of the time that these are things that can be managed with medication, but that they are incurable and that you will need to take medication and or suffer from these conditions for the rest of your life. Your doctor isn't doing you this disservice on purpose. Your doctor probably wants to help you. But unfortunately, medicine really doesn't understand what causes this condition and how to heal it. In fact, they'll tell you we don't understand what causes it and we don't know how to get rid of it. Well, I want you to think about it this way. We'll talk about ulcerative colitis for a second. Ulcerative colitis means that you have ulcerated tissue in the colon. What's ulcerated tissue? Well, if you've ever fallen off your bike, maybe when you were a child, you fall off your bike, you skin your knee, and what happens? Well, if you leave that tissue alone, over the course of the next 4, 5, 7 days, whatever it may take, that's going to scab, it's going to heal, eventually the scab falls off, and it heals completely. There may or may not be a scar, but you've got healed tissue. But what would happen if you had ulcerated tissue, this is what we're talking about, on your knee, and then every day you rubbed that tissue, you rubbed it every single day? Would it ever be able to heal? I don't think so. This is why medicine says these conditions can't be healed, because when you're eating food, you're rubbing food, the stool, against that ulcerated tissue every single day. In fact, for most people, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more times per day, you're putting something in your system which is going to rub against this ulcerated tissue. Is the tissue going to heal? Not likely. Not likely at all. About 10 years ago, it's only been about 6 years now, we had a young man here. I know because I'm actually speaking to you live from the Tanglewood Wellness Center in Panama. Beautiful tropical location, and we've only been here for just under 6 years. And it was in our first session here. We had a young man here who was about 35 years old, give or take. He'd been suffering from Crohn's disease for probably 7 or 8 years. He had constantly had bleeding from his rectum. He was constantly in pain, severe pain, and he had problems every time he had a meal of any kind. He spent 5 weeks here. Over 5 weeks, he fasted for 26 days and spent 9 days refeeding. Now, what we're talking about here is supervised, water-only fasting. And if you're seeing this for the first time, hearing about this for the first time, this probably sounds a little crazy to you. I know it sounded crazy to me when I first heard about this. But I read something which had been published 80 years or so earlier, and although it sounded crazy, the guy sounded very confident and talked about people doing this and healing all these conditions, and I finally decided to give it a try. And what I found was nothing short of miraculous. And we have now witnessed miracles in many people, more than 2,000 people that I've supervised over the last 14 years. Virtually every one of them gets amazing results. In his case, 7 years, nothing seemed to help. He was able to mitigate some of the symptoms with drugs, but as you probably know, drugs are toxic and he didn't want to take them anymore. So he finally came here, spent 25 days drinking only water while his body lived on its fat stores. Okay, so When we're fasting, it's not that the body's starving, it's actually getting everything it needs. It's just getting them from the stored body fat. And what happened was, by not rubbing anything against that ulcerated tissue, over the course of 25, 26 days, it was able to heal itself. And this happens virtually every single time if somebody gives the body enough time. If we give the body enough time, it will virtually always heal itself. This sounds surprising or a revelation to many people, but like every other species on the planet, our bodies are completely self-healing and self-cleansing. The French philosopher Voltaire once said, "The art of medicine lies in amusing the patient while nature cures the disease." The fact is, medicine can never, ever heal you of anything. All it's doing is suppressing symptoms. And if the body isn't healed, although you may feel better, you still have underlying issues which ensure that you do not feel and function as well as you possibly can. Alternatively, if you're willing to learn and then do what you need to do, first step is to find a place that you're comfortable with. I highly recommend the Tanglewood Wellness Center, but it's okay with me. Find a place, do a supervised water fast, and get supervision. It's important because it's an interesting process, and it helps to have someone who knows what is and isn't okay and knows when you are and are not safe. But do a supervised water fast. Give your lower GI tract, your gastrointestinal tract, a chance to actually heal itself. And what you'll see is that your Crohn's disease, your ulcerative colitis, your irritable bowel syndrome will go away. Now, when you're finished, what happens depends on the choices you make. If you're eating a standard American diet, and if you've got these problems, chances are good you've eaten a less than optimal diet for many years, because that's what happens. If you've got one of these conditions going on, and you get your body clean, and you're willing to take the diet recommendations that I'll make for you when you leave, and make better choices from that point on, you will never, ever need to suffer from any of these conditions again. Your body can and will heal itself absolutely completely if you give it a chance, and then continue to stay out of the way. So, if you're dealing with any of these conditions or know somebody who is, at the end of this video you'll see a website. Go to that website, send us an email, tell us what's going on for you, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can and let you know how we can help you. Chances are exceptionally high, almost 100% of the time, these conditions will heal with a single long enough fast if you're willing to do what you need to do. So we're here to help you in any way we can. If you want to be as healthy and vital as you possibly can, and if you want to get there by resting as completely as possible in a tropical paradise, let us know. Get in contact. We'll be happy to do anything we can to support you, and you can enjoy an amazing level of health and vitality. You never need to suffer from lower GI tract problems again. I look forward to hearing from you.